British band 1975 have stirred up an awful lot of controversy lately when they went to a festival and the lead singer Matt Healy took the opportunity to criticise the country's anti-LGBT laws and then proceeded to kiss his bandmate on the lips. Now, this enraged the Malaysian authorities so much that they cancelled the festival, they banned the 1975 from the country, and they have now ordered them to pay £2 million in damages. Now, I say well done to the 1975, well done to Matt Healy. I believe that they have done the right thing. Now, I have no doubt there are people out there watching this who will disagree with my views, and that's totally fine. That's the great thing about living in a democracy. You know, we're free to speak our mind, we're free to disagree, and we can remain relatively civil with one another. Unfortunately, in places like Malaysia, they don't quite have the same privileges and freedom that we have. And I've no doubt this was in Matt Healy's mind, in the 1975's mind, when they decided to take that stand over in a country where there are people who are being oppressed and mistreated simply because of how they are, who they are, and how they were born. Now, it's not their fault, and yet they are being discriminated against. So I fail to see how it's a bad thing that someone who is privileged, who does have freedom, decides to show some empathy towards those who don't, and then use his platform in order to defend them. Personally, I find that a very admirable thing. I know some people have said, well, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But to be honest with you, if you're in Rome and you can clearly see that there are laws, there is mistreatment, there are ways that certain people are being treated which is so awful and immoral, why in the world would you do as they do when you yourself know that it's morally wrong? Are these people who are being discriminated against not supposed to be given the same type of freedom that we have? Should they not be granted those same type of privileges that we have? I personally think they should be, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, you should be granted those basic human rights, which those people in Malaysia don't have. So if you look into the history of Britain, you look at what Britain has done throughout the ages, you can see that Britain is famous for doing this type of thing. This is what the British Empire was famous for. It went into countries, it enforced its own rules, it enforced its own laws, not to oppress people, but to spread freedom, to spread democracy, so they have rights in the end. That's exactly what Britain has done throughout its history. I fail to see that what the 1975 has done is any different, because it's not at heart. What they have done is the same thing. They have used their privilege and their platform in order to defend those who need a voice and to speak up for those who can't stand up for themselves. Now, if I was a gay person over in Malaysia and I had this British band come over, you know, international superstars come over and speak up for me, I'd be very grateful. I'd be incredibly grateful for that. I think that's something that everyone should really bear in mind. Because when you have a nation where there is clear immorality, when there are people truly struggling and suffering through no fault of their own, then it is the duty of those who have privilege to do something about it. So congratulations to the 1975, congratulations to Matt Healy. Really admire them for what they did.
Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.